And what's your claim to fame, I guess?
I guess I got a couple, if you call them fame. Powerlifting wise, two-time junior world champ, world record holder, 722 squat. Olympic weightlifting, two-time national champion, American record holder in the clean and jerk with 166 kilos and the total 294 kilos. Working with Dan Sturm today, owner of CrossFit Johns Creek right down the road, and he's been working on Olympic weightlifting, getting into some competitions. Going to get hopefully state games, possibly American Open, Masters, Nationals next year. And he's come a long way on his lift, still working on a couple technical things, some mobility, but he's getting there, looking real good. Good, solid. Hips just a little bit early, everything else is good. Yep, just the time.
A little bit early?
Yep, just a little bit. So just lock it in, knees out. Yeah, turnover's fine. Turnover's fine, everything's together. Just make sure hips, focus on legs just a little bit more. Knees out, hips and bar together.
A lot better than when we started.
Yeah. Yeah, Dan had the butt pop a long time ago. Hips coming up way faster than the bar. It's been one of our biggest challenges. Putting him behind the bar, then that ends up over pulling, kicking the bar out away from him. So fixing that has actually taken care of a lot of the position issues on the turnover. Just getting underneath the bar, everything else is fixing that start position and come up floor, hips and bar together has changed his entire lift a lot. There's a couple things that a lot of CrossFit people do. Number one, mainly they're just focused on getting it done as fast as possible. You know, they're not working on, lower reps, just focusing on drilling the technique, which is something that we start kind of slow down, start back at the beginning, break the lift down from the start. That's one of the biggest problems that you have because people start trying to touch and go snatches or touch and go clean. So you'll start seeing, just coming down and that butt popping up real fast and then just trying to catch up to the bar. So really working on that start position is one of the biggest things you have with a lot of CrossFit people. The other thing that happens too is, especially if you're fairly new or even if you've been lifting a long time, one of the biggest things that happens is when you start to squat, you start to just throw your butt back, right? So you're just sitting way back. It's the easiest way to stay on your heels. But if you start doing that on a snatch or a clean, there's always that line on a snatch from the hips to the shoulders to the bar. So if you're starting to reach like this, then you can't hit a good bottom position. So the biggest thing we got to work on with them too is working on pulling those hips in, getting that torso vertical so you can hit a good bottom position. So that's initial setup and then turning over and getting those hips in the right positions too are the biggest things we run into. Nice. Good. Yeah, better off the floor, better off the floor. Lock that back in, don't wait so long at the start. You're down there a little while on it. Lock that back in, get your air, let's go. Nice. Good job. Best one. Yeah, real nice, real nice. Solid.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, one thing goes along with the things we run into with people, and Dan does it, and we run into it a lot with CrossFit too, is just moving the feet. Yeah, being aggressive with the feet. A lot of times people, especially if you're just focusing on speed, not so much on technique, your feet aren't hardly going to move. But if your feet aren't moving, especially if you're doing heavy singles, things like that, you're going to end up being behind the bar. A lot of times you're going to be catching on the toes. Everything's going to be out front trying to catch up to it. So working on moving those feet just from that pull to the catch position and not going front to back is another thing we run into. There's a couple drills we do. One is you can just take a bar and you can just go to the hang. You can work on with the clean or the snatch, right? But you're just going to pull to full extension. You're going to hold that position, and then from there, just work on dropping underneath. So doing that, you really got to focus on moving the feet, because if you don't, there's no way you're going to make anything more than a PVC pipe, right? So that's one drill we do. Another one we do doesn't even involve a snatch or a clean. You just have the bar on your back. We call it weighted footwork. I actually got it from the national coach. And working on, you actually have a sheet of plywood or something about 1 inch tall right outside your feet, bar in the back, and just work on jumping from the pull to the catch position with a little bit of weight on your back. And that's another good way to work on getting the feet moving. And once you start doing it, you just start building habits. You just got to break those bad habits you build just from doing repetitions without resetting and not focusing so much on time, but really breaking down and working on technique. Watched a lot of it live. And yeah, what I didn't see live, I caught up on. Yeah, there's videos everywhere.
What did you think of the snatch ladder event videos that you saw?
I thought the snatch ladder itself was a great idea. Yeah, it separated a lot of people, especially with conditioning combined with the big weights. Something that everything's going heavy now, so which I like. But yeah, but I mean, really same thing. you know, breaking it down to just working on technique. You know, the same things we talked about earlier. You see common flaws that are pretty consistent through a lot of people. You know, everyone's just a little bit different, but, you know, the start position, the hip position when you're catching, that sort of thing. Yeah, those are things that, you know, when you watch stuff like that, you know, 80–90% of people need to work on. People who don't need to work on, they're the ones winning those events. Yeah. You know, and the guys who were winning those events, their snatch looked all the way the same from 135 pounds all the way up to whatever their top weight was. They were hitting full snatches, squat snatches the entire time. And the technique doesn't change with each weight. You know, they're not power snatching one and chasing it all over the place. It was just identical the whole way through, and that's what you got to have a big lift like that. Yeah, it saves energy. You're more efficient. You're going to lift bigger weights. Yeah, carry over to everything.